So my oven is on temperature. We're now going to take that blade, put it into the temper oven at 180 degrees for 2 hours. My temper oven has an auto shutdown timer, so I can set it to shut itself down after 2 hours. What I suggest for you is a timer on your cell phone. Works like a charm. So our first 2-hour temper cycle is done. And this gal can come out. Remember, she's at 180 degrees, right? So I've got water in the basin. I want to cool that down as quickly as possible, and I want to arrest the state the steel is in. So water, and we're going to dump her in there. See, nothing dramatic happens. She just cools down. These colors are absolutely perfect. So that golden brown color is at 180 degrees Celsius. First 2-hour temper cycle is done. We're going to do another 2-hour cycle. But what causes the color is the oxygen in the air reacting with the surface of the steel. Yeah, gives you that color. And if you've got nice clean steel, you can see that you've got a really good temper all the way around. So now all I'm doing is I'm going to pat her dry. And then she is going to go into my chest freezer, which is at minus 18 degrees Celsius overnight. And then we'll bring her up to room temperature again tomorrow morning, and then do an additional 2-hour temper cycle. Let's quickly talk about why we want to do a negative. Right, so basically we've got temp and martensite. Martensite is hard stuff. As soon as I drop the temperature on this, in other words, make it colder, in our case minus 18 degrees Celsius, in a fridge overnight, what's going to happen is I'm going to have new martensite forming. In other words, this blade is going to continue hardening as it cools down, the lower the temperature. If you've got the facilities, go cryogenic, acetone, dry ice, but obviously be careful. Use those 2 brain cells. In our case, minus 18. So as this blade keeps on cooling down, it keeps on hardening. New martensite is being formed. What we end up with is new untempered martensite and the old tempered martensite. So the ductility we gained by tempering the blade will then be undone. So I need to temper a second time. Keep in mind, the lowest environment that your blade might potentially find itself in is where you want to negatively quench towards. Hope that makes sense. So chest freezer, open her up. On top of the bread. It has to be on top of the bread. Or on top of the ice, it doesn't matter. Just stick it in there, right? She's going to stay there overnight. See you in the morning. It's time we get that blade out of the fridge. There we go. All nice and frosty. So once again, water. I'm going to dump it in there. I'm going to leave it in there for about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. So next up, I'll switch on my temp oven. And while the temp oven gets up to temperature, that guy can stay right there. Yeah, exactly 15 minutes. Back up to room temperature. Now, we are just going to pat her dry. And now she's going back into the temp oven for her second 2-hour temper. So my kiln switched off after 120 minutes. Now we get to do that again. Oh yeah, that is substantially darker. Obviously she gets rubbed off again. Rubbed off, just dried off. And there we go. So that's our second 2-hour temper cycle now completed.